Hello and welcome to Spot Show, an independent podcast with a few pit stops along the way. I am your host, Jim Minton Dickie Wabash, joined as always by formerly fabulous Jason V. But it's not just us today, V. It's not just us. We have got a guest in the studio here. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. You love him. The Dominican Dynamo, Cecil Cerveza, has made his way back onto the Spot Show podcast. Cecil, oh my goodness, it's so good to see you here for a multitude of reasons that I'm sure that we're going to get into.
Thank you. I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, we had a blast the last time that you were on. It was you two, and we had to kind of pass the microphone back and forth because at that point we didn't have it. But now, hey, we got our own setup here, so we'll be able to have more of a free conversation. I don't have to worry about you two fighting over a microphone like last time.
There was a lot more cuddling in that episode than I anticipated. It might have been because of your lopsided couch. There was a little,
probably
a little divot. You know what I mean?
I do not remember a lot of that night.
Yeah, you did get kind of housed that night, didn't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. But no, man. So for those of you that have been on social media or have heard us talk about it a little bit here, we were the type that we didn't want to put people's business out in the streets. So Cecil has been through a pretty rough month or so. And before we get into the bashing and the joking and all the stuff that we know that we're more than likely going to be doing here, Cecil, let me just say this. I love you today. I am so happy that you were able to make it through a very trying time. I was thinking about you the entire time, very worried about you, and all the love in the world. Very happy to see that you're on the road to recovery, but it was a pretty scary time for you, to say the least, right?
Oh, most definitely. I didn't know, but on top of it, all happened within like 48 hours. It got to its peak, but I didn't know this. But since October of last year, I was dealing with a blood infection, which formed a cyst inside my neck, which I just thought, oh, okay, maybe it's something that'll go away on its own. I thought tonsillitis, whatever. So May 29th, I went to the doctors because I felt it getting inflamed. I didn't know what was going on. They put me on antibiotics, sent me home. That Saturday, it got so bad that my tongue was the size of a softball.
Oof.
And I
Got that
called
Andre the Giant gimmick.
He got the whole gold.
It was bad. I don't know what I was doing that whole day that made that 10 hours the most excruciating thing I've ever went through. So that night I called the ambulance again. They came and got me. They're like, dude, your blood pressure's through the roof. Your tongue, you can barely talk to me. You're slurring your words. We're getting you out of here. I got there and they tried to shove tubes down my throat to get me to breathe. And the doctor said, you're going to get an emergency tracheotomy. First thing that came to my mind was Anaconda from 1994.
As it should. As it should.
Yeah, logical next step.
That's a very logical first thought, Willie. I will give you that one.
I mean, is it more ironic that the surgeon looked like John Voight?
That just makes it even better. That's probably why your head went that direction. I know mine probably would.
Yeah, immediately I was like, are you about to anaconda me? And they sedated me. I was out. I heard I was without oxygen for a good like 8 minutes.
Ooh,
and they tracheotomed me, and then they lifelined me to Peoria, where I lived in Peoria for a week.
By the way, Anaconda came out in 97, idiot. But anyway,
Sure, you can fact check Cecil. I'm over here just dying last week. I'm over here was what I'm talking about John Dillinger, and I really meant Al Capone because I'm a fool.
So no, man, like I said, the jokes are going to be flying here. Expect nothing less from us. But no, so I'm looking at the time. So we're recording this a week before it actually goes up. The day that you're a month, it's been a literal month, the day of this recording that this has been going on for you. So that's a pretty good milestone, especially considering you just explained it here. To see that you have got that really quick, quick, I'm sure it wasn't quick for you. Yeah. Turnaround. I mean, to see that you're back and you're moving like you and talking, and that was the part that really worried me, because whenever you hear tracheotomy, you're like, this dude's fucked. This dude is, his throat is probably going to be destroyed from here on out. He's probably going to have to be Kane with the "my name is Kane." But thankfully, knock wood, you're here talking on a podcast with us. And I am so grateful that my friend is still able to communicate normal.
I was actually supposed to be in the hospital until they were talking the 31st of July. And
wow,
you're right. Like, I thought for at least a week or two, I would have had to talk with the trach in my throat, which the nurses and everybody was pretty impressed, because let's be honest, trach in your throat, there's an open air hole. You can't talk. Me, I was doing it like I've been doing it for years. I just put my finger on it to cover the, and I was able to talk. Yeah, I sounded like Darth Vader for like 3 days, but I was able to talk. So
at least you were able to communicate.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah, very impressive to say the least. No, we gave a little bit of an update on you whenever all of this initially started, and I was getting updates from people, and we were getting updates from social media, and we were getting all this and all that. But so, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you had to be put into a coma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long was the coma?
Not that long at all. I got to the hospital, Danville Hospital, around 12:30, and I woke up at 7:30 the next morning. I couldn't talk that entire day because they hadn't put my device in yet. But yeah, they sedated me. I wouldn't exactly call it a coma. They did sedate me.
Yeah, kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess.
So I'm real stupid. I don't really know the difference. Like, I think coma means a long time, right? It's more about time instead of like putting somebody out.
If they would have put me in a coma, I would have woken up and not recognized the people that were there. Okay.
Because otherwise it'd be just like good anesthesia. Like, well, I got my wisdom teeth out and they put me down for an hour. I woke up and blah, 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 blah. that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'd be like, okay, this dude's down and out, his body's fighting for like a week, that kind of thing.
Cecil after dentist is just, I have 2 fingers.
Yeah.
No, dude, like it's absolutely, I'm just going to be blunt with you. We know what Madrox is constantly going through and what Madrox is going through right now. And then I was just sitting back thinking, God damn, another one of my friends is down and out. What the hell am I doing right now? It really sucked, man. And like I said, I mean, I'm not a spiritual person by any stretch of the imagination, but there must be someone looking out for you. And I'm glad for that, because I get to sit here with my friend on a podcast and hear that he's pretty much doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm out of wrestling for a couple months, but that still doesn't mean that I can help with AVW or any other promotions that would need my help and assistance in a non-wrestling capacity. So
yeah, we're definitely.
I'm feeling more
that's a positive, because of what, like 2 months ago you were retired. So I mean, you're getting a lot more bookings not being retired.
Yeah. Right. To say the least. And we'll definitely get into AVW here as the conversation goes on. But yeah, I mean, so let's talk about, because from my understanding, you have gotten to make your first kind of return to a show since all of this has been going on, based on what I've seen on social media. So certainly fill me in on that. Oh, you're ring announcing, which is insane to think about, that you almost had to, my name is Willie. Like,
right. Yeah, I ring announced that New Generation Wrestling in Crawfordville, Indiana on Sunday, and I was so happy that my voice didn't go out until the main event. And Chris Gordon, he even ribbed me in the middle of the ring about that. He was like, okay, I know you're new at this, kid, but let's rewind and do that again. So I even said in the mic, I was like, sorry, guys, that whole show, my voice held up. Now finally my voice wants to crack. And so the crowd liked that and enjoyed that. But yeah, it was fun, and it was a good test run. Now, I had the mother of sore throats the next day I woke up, but
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's Tuesday now, and I'm talking fine, and just feels like there's a peanut lodged in my throat, but I'm all good.
Well, let's put it this way. If you start to feel it, we would completely understand if you have to tap out of this podcast early. We would get that completely.
We've each carried you before. We're fine.
Yeah, we've each carried you before, so it would be no problem.
He slapped me in the mouth like a couple days ago.
Hey, you know, man, that Chris Gordon, he just really doesn't seem like he knows Jack very well. You know what I mean? In what he's saying, but no, how dare he? How dare he talk to you that way? But no, man, like, I'm sure that was a really cool feeling for you to be able to be like, hey, because again, as someone who is very good friends with someone who is chronically not well and have been through multiple returns back to wrestling with this man, I know kind of how Madrox would feel whenever he would have to be out for a certain amount of time and then he would come back to a show. So I'm sure for you, it just meant the world to be able to be like, just a couple of weeks ago, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do this again, and now here I am.
Right.
You're not gonna elaborate on that one, Willie?
Hold on. I'm collecting my words because I remember a conversation me and my son had recently. Like,
so mean to him.
Even Elijah said, he was like, in the beginning of June, I didn't even know you'd be home for your birthday. Yeah. Now here we are at the end of June, beginning of July, and you're ring announcing again, and your voice, because y'all know I can talk, like, my voice carried. I kept the crowd entertained. I didn't choke, for lack of a better term. So it was like, he was very impressed, and which is good because I have my 18-year-old and my 8-year-old living with me, and like, they are my inspiration to keep going. They're really the only two people that I really thought about to get to where I am now. So
you always got to have the motivation, you know what I mean? And like, I think that you also knew that you had an incredible support system cheering for you. And I definitely was thinking about you all the time. Anytime that I would get a chance to ask people how you were doing, or anytime I would see an update on social media that was always positive, it always made me good, made me really happy, and it was a good feeling. Like, I remember within like 3 or 4 days of it, I see you posting on Facebook and you're joking, and I'm like, okay, now I know that I can take the deep breath and know that he's fine. He's in a joking mood, and we can do that. You know, we made the comment a minute ago that we're just being mean to you and joking with you or whatever, but I mean,
he's making it a lot harder.
Yeah.
Especially with the tugging at the heartstrings with my kids are my inspiration, everything. I was like, well, I can't make fun of you now.
Yeah. But I mean, that goes into what I'm saying here, is that how important has comedy been? I mean, because like I said, like, a sense of humor will help you get through damn near everything. And like, we're making the Kane, like, I thought I was going to have to talk like Kane and stuff like that. Like I said, within a couple of days, you were on Facebook joking, and I'm sure that really helped your mood big time.
that Sunday that I woke up throughout the day because let's be honest, you can only watch Harry Potter so many times before you're like, all right, I need something else to do. Me talking throughout that entire Sunday because they didn't put my device in until the next day. So everything I said was
just kind of mouthing.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting here talking with my hands.
Audio podcast, Willie.
Huh?
I said this is an audio podcast, Willie.
Yeah. This is an audio podcast because
we're
Dickie
being
always...
so mean. We're like, what? It took us 5 minutes, and then we just dogpiled on him.
I was wondering what was coming. I'm like,
I love you. I love you so much.
To be fair, it's only an audio podcast because Dickie forgets to upload the video all the time.
I don't.
So it's not just for you. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Everybody on our $10 tier will get to see Cecil mouth some words and everything. But anyway, back to
that's worth $10 right there.
That's worth exactly. But anyway, back to your point. You were just being able to mouth words. You weren't being able to actually communicate. I'm sure that was. There was almost there's that. I can't imagine not being able to verbally be like, I need this right now.
For a weird feeling, it was fun because I was making my nurses and doctors laugh. It was fun. Yeah. I was having fun. They're like, this guy was unresponsive like 6 hours ago, and now he's just sitting here with a sense of humor.
I mean, that's the one thing. I think that you are the most lemonade out of lemons guy that I have ever met in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And for people that know you, that's no surprise. But for those doctors, it was probably just like, oh, wow, this guy's actually in a really positive mood.
They tried to move me like Monday. They tried to move me to the general area to where they had people that were leaving the next day. So they moved me down there. I started having conversations with this old timer and I was just getting comfortable. And now my nurse from the third floor comes back down and she's like, yeah, we got to take him back up there. He's going to be here a while. And they're like, oh. I was like, all right, sure. I'll just roam around this hospital all day.
So here's what I think might be maybe the most important question. At least this is what I would be thinking about, because that's just how my brain works. When you were finally able to eat real food, what was the first meal and how good was it?
Oh, Brian, you're going to love this one.
Already do.
Pork chops.
You're not real. You're not real. He's not. How do you do this? How you are the gift that just keeps on giving, Cecil. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
I remember my whole order. I remember my whole dinner order. 1 pork chop, a side of mashed potatoes gravy, a side of green beans, 2 things of Jell-O, and a thing of strawberry ice with 2 Sprites.
2 Sprites.
Boy, Sprite is a little bit dangerous on a sore throat, though. It's bubbly.
I was so tired of drinking unsweet tea.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, well, we don't have Sprite, but we have like a ginger ale. I'm like, I will take it.
Yeah.
The cans aren't this big, so.
Ugh.
Those are the mini cans. They're very popular with the elderly and children. That's my business.
And
just know that.
yeah. I know that he knows the demographic.
I got it. 7.5 ounce cans, buddy.
Have we told the pork chop story? Like, do people understand why that's so fucking funny to us?
Could we? I'll write about it.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on. A book too? Slowly pivoting.
Yes.
Because this world is not real, as you just pointed out. That story has always been Cecil's story.
Yeah.
Cliff notes, Cecil was really, really hungry one day. His mom made a whole pack of pork chops. There was like 12 of them. His family ate 3. He ate 9. So it just became a bit after that. I hear this story again in my real life, like Brian life, like real house wife life, not wife. And
Words?
I'm hearing this story, and I'm like, I know this. Yeah, it's Willie. And my mom goes, no, that was your brother. Your brother ate 9 pork chops when we only had 3. I go, what are you talking about? We have overlapped the timeline where my brother, who was a former skydiving instructor and now lives in the backwoods of Alaska, it did the same exact thing as Cecil. I don't know what you're going to use that for, but that shot right there was a thumbnail.
I know what Cecil's about to say. And I knew this, and when I first found out, I was like, "Oh my god!" But Cecil, go on.
I've known you since I was 18, and I never knew you had an older brother.
Oh yeah, surprise! Merry Christmas.
Hello.
Hello.
I thought you just had a sister.
Mm-mm. I got like 4 siblings, bro. I got all kinds of them.
Okay.
You've just only seen one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Befuddled Cecil is my favorite Cecil because you can see it in his head working, and he's trying to do math in his head.
I get it though, because there are people that are in our inner circle that do not. They think that it's another bit, that the family I have is not my actual family. Like I have brothers, I have sisters, I have a child. And my child is grown. She is a full-grown human being who also went to the Dominican Republic. Did you talk to her about that, Cecil? Did you tell her which sites? Is there a barrio down there?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you went to it.
That's a deep cut reference. If anyone gets that reference, I swear to God.
For a second, I didn't think you got that reference.
No,
I was like,
dude,
man, who is my audience?
The first time I ever talked to Cecil. So the first time I ever met Cecil, I was ring announcing, and I go up to him and I'm like, hey, I'm the ring announcer for the evening. Do you have any information that you want to give me? I'm from the Dominican Republic. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, do you know, is there a barrio in the Dominican Republic? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
By the way, guys, spoiler alert, Cecil's not really from the Dominican Republic.
Man, that's a fly on the wall commentary right there.
We all know. But remember at one time, I would always say that you were from La Romana, Illinois, because La Romana is the capital of the Dominican Republic.
Where was I born?
I think.
Where
were you born? That's actually a good question. You've told me this, and I don't remember. It was.
I'm gonna vote hospital.
You were born in the Dominican Republic.
It was on a military base.
Were you born in the Dominican Republic?
No.
Where were you born?
He just identifies as Dominican.
Yes.
I was Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
The Air Force Base over there.
Okay. I was actually thinking that it was going to be somewhere outside of the United States and that you were going to try to slam me on that. But
international superstar.
Don't try to make an argument that Colorado's not in the United States, Willie, because it's right in the middle.
Hold on. I was only in Colorado for a year, and then I was 2 years in the Dominican Republic, and then 3 years in Germany.
Okay, that's fair. So
I
you're a
didn't back to the States until I was like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay. So you're
El Grande Dominicano over here.
El Grande Dominic. Listen, if you don't come back as El Grande Dominicano, I swear
put a second little mask on your neck.
Oh, that is you know, you do what?
Do what?
Really with the neck joke? Only took you 20 minutes.
Well, I was letting you get your gimmick out because when it first happened, you looked like a South Park Canadian.
Hey, buddy.
It was rough. He was catcalling. So I take him out to lunch for his birthday, right?
Here we go.
So I'm not going to tell you about how you tried to order the whole menu, But I was concerned that you couldn't eat the mac and cheese with the chicken tenders and whatnot on it because after the operation and whatnot. I was concerned with that, and now you're telling me you're eating pork chops in the hospital room. But he's talking to me, and then he's like, "I appreciate it, buddy." I was like, "Did your neck just catcall me?" Yeah, buddy, I'm sorry about that.
So this is he still had the gimmick in?
No, I don't think it was in. It was just kind of it's an open airway.
Yeah.
So when he's just breathing, it just was making a little whistle.
Now, is that still like that, like today as we're talking, or is it completely stitched up? Okay. Okay.
It's been closed completely closed since Friday.
Okay.
But since I've gotten out of the hospital, I've had to keep it covered up. But I have to keep it to where air can get in and out of there. So I was breathing from my nose, my mouth, and my neck for about 2 weeks.
Crazy.
Hell
That's crazy.
That's a lot of breathing. But no, man.
It's the opposite of an airtight.
I had to change it and clean it. That's funny. Okay. I had to change it.
Remember Minnesota there, buddy? Do we get into that story on Paige Show?
I had to clean it and cover it up like twice a day. And every time they knew when my roommate, my kids, every time they knew when I was changing it because I would take out the bandage and you would hear the loudest wheezing noise you ever heard in your life. And they're like, oh, he's auditioning for Toy Story again.
Oof. Oh yeah, you made a post that I think it was your son was like, you're like Wheezy from Toy Story.
Yeah.
Listen, that's not the loudest wheeze you've ever heard because you've not heard a full-on Dickie Wabash wheeze laugh. Because when I get that wheeze laugh going, it is super pretentious, super over the top. Yeah, it's pretty rough. But no, man. Listen, let's get serious here again for a minute. Let's sprinkle it in. We've been sprinkling it in a little bit. He puts his head down because he's like, I'm about to cry when he says this, probably. No, legit. We're very proud of you for getting through such a really tough time. Really happy that you were able to get through a tough time. It feels good to be able to make fun of you, to be able to joke with you again, because there was, let's call it what it was. There could have been a reality where we never get to see you or talk to you and conversate with you ever again. And that's a bummer because like I've said, we really give you a hard time, but deep down, you truly are one of the, my favorite people to have conversations with. And to be able, and then honestly, I would have had to stop doing the Cecil voice because it just would have been in bad taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that from several people, which also helps with motivation and healing. Because I heard from a couple close friends of mine that even though I never feel like I mean much to people, a world without me is something that a lot of people can't picture, because even though I ghost out, I don't talk to a lot of people. Whenever I do have those conversations with people, I leave that lasting impression. It's like, you're going to make fun of me, like Hadley. Like, me and Hadley, we'll cuss each other out all day, no matter where we're at. But he gave me the biggest hug Sunday. He's like, you have no idea how much it feels that I could roast you to your eyes instead of roasting you just whenever I think about you or because you're not here. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good feeling.
I've never heard that phrase before in my life. I love that. I will roast you to your eyes. Not to your face, but to your eyes directly.
I think that there's a weird Mandela effect going on with Spot Show, because I slipped up and said rabbit's nest a couple episodes ago, and then now we're saying roast you to your eyes, and it's like, man, we're starting to get alternate versions of these phrases. But no,
rabbit's nest is here to stay, though, for real.
Oh, rabbit's nest, yeah. Where there was a conversation of do we rename this podcast Rabbit's Nest?
This could be the Rabbit's Nest podcast.
Yeah.
What rabbit's nest you got over there, Cecil?
Honestly, I was gonna ask what you guys mean by that because I have no idea what that means.
That is the proper response.
What are you talking about?
I meant to say that I fell down a rabbit hole on YouTube, but I slipped up and said rabbit's nest, and V just roasted me. Not really roasted, but it was just like rabbit's nest. And then now from here on, we've been saying, instead of saying rabbit hole, we've been saying rabbit's nest.
Okay. Then to answer your question, my rabbit's nest has been Transformers. Like before I got on this podcast, me and Elijah just watched Bumblebee, and I almost forgot how amazing that movie was.
Oh boy, don't do why you're listen, we talk about movies on here a lot and we roast each other's tastes in movies, and I really don't want to do that to you, Willie.
Okay, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I have two questions. Now, if you two both give me thumbs down on both of these movies, we will never speak about movies again because that'll be a whole hour debate of us three going back and forth arguing. And I don't think people would really want to pay for that, or maybe they will. Who knows? But let's start with the first one, Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, I've not seen it yet, but I've heard it's pretty solid.
You could have got my review a couple weeks ago.
I did.
Okay.
That's why.
No, I mean on the podcast, but you don't. If you would have listened, I did my review on the podcast. I said it was amazing. It was so good, but it was so dumb.
It didn't.
It was constant action, and there was no storyline. Didn't need to do that.
Didn't need it. It's Mortal Kombat. You don't need that.
That's Mortal Kombat 9. Every fight that happened in Mortal Kombat 9, the game, happened in Mortal Kombat 2, the movie.
Yeah, but Mortal Kombat 9 was what, like 14 hours long or something? And
Mortal Kombat 9 was the reboot where it was just a retelling of the first 3 games, which is fine. I love that game.
Yeah, that was good. The cinematics are on YouTube. It was really good.
Yeah, it's a good little movie.
Right,
okay, second movie.
Master of the Universe.
Again, another one. Brian loved it.
Okay, yeah, I actually did. So if you would have listened to the podcast last week, you would have heard that one. I talked about that one last week. But
Can I peek behind the curtain, though? That podcast hasn't gone up.
You're killing me. You're dating the pros, remember?
Sorry.
This is when we started learning how to work live to tape back in Arkansas, right? We learned different phrasing where you don't say earlier today because like 4 hours earlier you did a promo or a match or whatever. You say last week because it's a weekly product. So with the Master of the Universe, I actually really liked 2/3 of it. It was nostalgia overload. It was excellent. The piece that did not hit is the stuff that is stuck in the 2026 American world. The he, him, the de-escalate the situation instead of fighting. It's like this dude's name is Ram Man. Just fight. Shut up. Just fight. Like so it's almost like too far the other way with Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat just went straight into fight. Here's 2 guys, fight. And it's like, oh, so Carl Urban is here because I don't know, we need somebody for the poster.
So, Cecil, my recommendation for a movie for you. You have got to see The Furious. You would love The Furious.
Yeah.
It's a kung fu movie. It's a kung fu movie, and it is some of the best fight cinematography I've ever seen in a movie. And I mean that. It's not out on digital or anything yet, but when it is, dude, you got to watch the Furious. It is so good. That was a Christian Rose recommendation. I saw him singing the praises of it on social media, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna go see this movie. It looks incredible.
Yeah, that's a you movie. Good. I've only seen the trailer. That's all I needed, but it's a you movie.
That's a Cecil movie. That's a Cecil movie. I think you would love it. You would love it. But
I mean, if you can sit at my house and watch Avatar 13 times in the same day, then you can watch The Furious.
That's statistically possible.
Is it?
I don't know. How long is that movie?
I don't know, but I own it and I've never watched it, and he watched it so many times in the same day. He's like, well, I didn't have anything else to do, so I just watched Avatar again.
Super distracted, and yeah, that happens to me often.
Hour and 40 minutes in, he misses like a cut, and then he'll be like, well, I got to start the movie over.
One of my favorite Cecil watching something stories is he spent the night. This was years ago. You spent the night with me before a New Wave show back in like 2014 or whatever. And I was like, we watched Royal Rumble 1998 on VHS. And you're like, I was like, all right, Willie, I need to go to bed. And you go, is that WrestleMania 19? And I went, yeah. And you go, I'm going to watch that. So then I go to bed, and then you watched WrestleMania 19. And then we got up and went to the show the next day.
Yeah.
He's always got time for WrestleMania.
Always time for WrestleMania.
Always
time.
But
hey, I'm going to tell you what we got time for is to remind everyone that this is, of course, Spot Show Podcast. Each and every week, Jason V and I get together and we talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about. Sometimes we bring on some of our friends, and that's just wonderful when we're able to do that, especially when they've been through what Cecil has just been through. If you like what we are doing here, you can, of course, go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Back us at that $5 tier. You're going to get all of our content early and ad-free, as well as some exclusive shows. Sometimes you don't have the extra money to toss our way. I get that, but you still want to help keep the microphones on and the envelopes full. You can go to madbashstudios.com. There, you are going to find links to all of our social media, Facebook, YouTube, your favorite podcasting platforms. Go to all of them. Let them know what you think of Mad Bash and Spot Show Podcast. Some dates, plug skis, and upcoming events. Of course, I am going to give the floor to Cecil Cerveza right now before we get into our plug skis. Cecil, this is the time where you can plug some upcoming AVW dates, some shows you're going to be on, whatever. The floor is yours.
Vermilion Wrestling does return July 25th from the Vermilion County Regional Airport for the end of summer Market Bash. We will be one of the attractions that day starting at 3:30. 6 matches are on the card as of right now. Could be some special surprises. Do not miss that out. That is July 25th from the Vermilion County Regional Airport.
Yeah, that's a shame that I'm going to miss that one. I'm going to be in Japan during that time, so I'm not going to be able to be at that show. But every time I go to All Vermilion Wrestling, always a fun time. You put on a pretty solid product there. Mad Bash Wrestling is, of course, returning August 29th. We are going to be in Marshall, Illinois for Mad Bash Wrestling Presents Ruthless. I haven't confirmed on any social media yet exactly who's going to be on the card. No matches yet, but stick around. In due time, we're going to be rolling out all that information. Everyone's going to want to see this. Mad Bash is going to be coming back from summer break. You guys are really going to want to be there for that one. Also, if you want to see our past events, you can find it on YouTube or Patreon, Event Horizon, and the Gang Wrestles for the Troops. Some really good shows that we had going on there. But those are on the Patreon. And if you're not on the Patreon, you are about to hear a word from our sponsors. This episode of Spot Show Podcast is brought to you by Big Red Soda. Let's be honest, wrestling fans are a little different. We spend hours debating matches from 20 years ago, drive hundreds of miles for shows in buildings that may or may not have functioning air conditioning, and somehow we consider that a good weekend. Big Red gets it. Big Red has been doing its own thing since 1937, delivering a flavor that's completely unique and impossible to forget. Grab an ice cold Big Red. Support the sponsors that support independent. And we're going to sweeten the pot for you. Any Mad Bash wrestling event that you go to until September 2026, any purchase at the merch table, doesn't matter what it is, a sticker, a shirt, a pin, a poster, you are going to get a free bottle of Big Red on us. Thank you again to Big Red for sponsoring Independent. This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/MadBash Studios. If you head on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios, you are helping fund the definition of independent. Hundreds of hours of content starting at just $5 a month. You are going to get early, ad-free access to everything that MadBash Studios has to offer on top of exclusive shows starting at just $5 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a month. You can go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios and you can support the dream of being unapologetically creative. Well, you heard us mention it right before we threw to ads. It was something that I had to dance around the last time that Cecil was on the podcast because he wasn't the public face of All Vermilion Wrestling. So we had to kind of mums the word that one. And, you know, I respect that word called kayfabe. So I was keeping it there. But within the last year or so, you have kind of come to the front of the pack and been like, yes, I'm the one in charge here, whether it be on screen, behind the scenes, whatever. Basically, all of this to say is that we have got a really cool dichotomy here of people that are bookers and running or have run companies before. You've got V over here, who was, of course, running UWC Online, hasn't really been a booker in over 10 years.
Not publicly.
So, well, yeah, not in
publicly.
any official capacity. Yeah.
There's a really good one that I had with this underdog that I pitched it over to Cecil, and he said, no, I'm not doing that.
But then you've got Cecil, who's been doing it for a couple of years at this point, about 3 years, right? You've been running AVW about, okay. And then you've got me, who's in my rookie season of being a promoter. So I think that this is a pretty good dichotomy here, and this could be a pretty good discussion. Maybe people who are listening to this that maybe want to see what it's like running a wrestling company, or maybe you're thinking, maybe I could do this. Maybe you can hear some do's and don'ts from us. Maybe we can use you as an example, or you rather can use us as an example. So if that's what you want to do, let me just go ahead and give you this most important bit of advice when it comes to booking a wrestling show and running a wrestling show. Don't do it.
100%. 100%.
Don't do it.
I wanted to say first.
Yeah, I think that we all kind of wanted to get it out there and say, no, man, like, obviously, you know, chase your dreams, do whatever you want to do. But I think that we can all three sit here and be like, yeah, there's hardships that we've all had to go through as promoters. You know, I don't particularly want to get too specific on this, but their social media can sometimes be a bit of a problem, and what people might think about some of our decisions. Cecil, if you kind of read between the lines of what I'm saying here, we can.
I'll say.
We'll talk about that. We can talk about that on Paid Show. I think would be better.
You can. That's two hooks.
Yeah. Let's talk about that on Paid Show, because I think V knows what I'm talking about. Cecil knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, no, I that is something that you can face. I think that that's a bit of a problem. But then it's also it can be stressful. It can be very time consuming. Legitimately, I mean, what are some of the biggest hurdles? We'll start with Cecil. What are some of the biggest hurdles that you found in terms of being behind the booking desk and like, yeah, I'm going to run a company?
My main one for me, which is still a challenge today, is you can't be everyone's friend and you can't book everybody. Because if you do that, no one's going to pay tickets to come back. And like getting the business, it's very important to get the business. Kids that are trained these days, they don't get that. And then politics come in. And then when politics come in, you're overbooking yourself. And though that right there is the biggest hurdle that I've had to face, especially this year. Now, this year, in my opinion, right now I'm doing really good, especially compared to last year. But I still had some major hurdles that I had to go through, especially with me getting sick. So now it's just it's July now, about 6-7 more months worth of shows. And now I kind of have to reset and think, okay, now I need to slow down. So just remembering that I can't be everybody's friend and I 100% cannot book everybody. So
Yeah,
and to
that's
make things make
a tough
sense.
one. You can't what? I'm sorry.
I said, and to make things make sense within that capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. V, do you kind of mirror that, or
Yeah, it's the thing that I've talked to both of you in private, most people in public, and it's one of the biggest points that I got through the time that I was booking, that you can be my friend and I'll be your buddy. We can hang out. I don't gotta book you. I have limited spots on my show. My shows specifically were about an hour to an hour and a half, and they were short. They were teasers. And so I had 5 matches most times, maybe 6, but those were short matches. And I can't fit 40 people on that card. I just can't do it. I'm not booking battle royals. I'm not booking 32-man scramble matches and stuff. It's just not a thing I want to do. And the quicker you can separate the friendship from the professional relationship, the better promoter that you're going to be.
I think you're right on that one. I think that you're both pretty spot on. I think another thing too that people have probably been able to figure out is that Cecil and I both have been under the Jason V learning tree. We are someone that, or we're some people that are very close to you in a personal capacity, and we were able to look at what you were doing. And I kind of made the comment to Cecil whenever I was running Event Horizon. We both kind of had a moment. We were just standing there because you really, I'm going to say this can be a different conversation in just a second. Event Horizon would not have happened if Cecil Cerveza wouldn't have helped me out big time. And I want to get to that in a minute, but
yes,
Cecil Cerveza is the reason that show got to happen. But anyway, there was a moment we were just standing there and I was like, I'm just trying to make Brian proud. And you're like, yeah, I think, that's kind of what it is. But
you're bringing Cecil voice, dude. Jesus.
No, okay. So my Cecil voice is me doing Logan Myers doing Cecil. Logan Myers is the one that created the Cecil voice that we all use. And I want to be sure that he gets all the credit he deserves. But anyway, my point on that is that, yes, I do agree with what both of you just said. And I think the thing that you really need to take into consideration with that is if they are mad at you and don't want to be your friend because you're not using them on your show, then maybe they weren't your friend to begin with. And maybe they were just, hoping that they could use you for a spot.
It's almost like they're workers,
Yeah.
The working doesn't stop when the bell signals the end of the match.
No.
The working is what you do all the time in order to make yourself that person that they need to have on your show. And you can utilize whatever manipulation tactics you want to do, and varying degrees of success. I can be your best friend as long as I'm in the main event and I'm the champion. The moment you take the belt off of me, the moment you don't book me in the title match, book me in the main event, well, we're done. I don't have anything for you no more.
Yeah, and without naming names, have you guys experienced that?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. I think so. Maybe not that directly, but there have been people that I thought I was pretty close to, and then when I didn't use them the way that they wanted to be used, that friendship kind of lapsed. Maybe it could have just been, just timing, but also it could have been because I wasn't putting the belt on, wrestler A or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I have yet to face that issue. It's actually been quite the opposite. Anyone that is my friend that I'm not using, they understand. They're like, I just had a conversation with someone today. I'm not going to say who it was. And they were like, they had confirmed for my next show coming up, all this. And they said, listen, I know that you're up to your eyeballs in workers, but if you need anyone, help me out, or I can help you out. And that's the point, is that when you have a huge talent pool to choose from, it's almost as if like friendship kind of becomes secondary. And again, One of my best friends in the wrestling business is Dalton Davis. Do I talk to Dalton Davis every day? No. Do I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week? Sometimes no. I could go a week and not talk to Dalton, but that doesn't change our friendship. I know that he loves me and I love him. And if I were to come to him and be like, hey, Dalton, sorry, I don't have a spot for you on this card, he would get it completely. Because he's a brother and he is someone that really understands that. But
maybe not just the brother part, but he's also a professional.
He's also a professional.
Understands.
Yes.
He understands that I may not have this spot every single show. Look at the way WWE was doing things. Vince McMahon's running things. There's 14 matches on a card. Everybody gets 19 seconds because the promo has to go 40 minutes. But then Triple H takes over and you got a 3-hour pay-per-view that's 4 matches.
Yeah.
You don't have time to go sandwich everybody into that. And also, Maxine Dupree is the Intercontinental Champion, so that's where my timeline ends. So anything that's happened after that is not canon.
So let's have this conversation, and we don't want to put anyone on blast, so let's not name names or anything. We'll start with V on this one. Mm-hmm. What has been one of the worst fires that you have had to put out as a booker?
Ooh. I don't know. First of all, I don't, it's been too long. The one that stands out the most wasn't even because of the booking. It was a conflict of interest because of multiple parties in UWC that thought they had the rights to certain things. We had one guy that thought he owned the media. Another guy thought he owned his performance. Another guy thought he owned the company. And all those heads were colliding. And then it was like we had to have that powwow to try to figure something out. Eventually, it all came out in the wash, and it was good, but it was hectic for a while.
Yeah. Now, for me, I'll go now because I really haven't had one yet. And I know I'm going to have a massive fire one day. I would say this is the worst fire that I've had to put out. And it wasn't even involving anyone. It was, I alluded to it a minute ago. My ring was not going to be ready in time for my first show. And I'm a week and a half out. And I've already promised these sponsors a show. I've already promised all these guys a payout. I've already all this. I can't cancel this show. This is my first show. If I have to cancel this show, I might as well just never try to book a show ever again. And then I call Cecil and I'm like, Cecil, I need a big favor from you. Please, I will do whatever you want. You can cash in an IOU at any point, which I don't think that you've fully cashed in an IOU yet. I think I know what your IOU is going to be, though, because we've already kind of talked about it a little bit. I'm not going to say, but I said, I need your ring. I need your ring for this show, because Cecil was already kind enough to put together a ring crew for me. So I knew that I was going to have a ring crew. But I didn't have a ring. Cecil stepped up. He let me rent his ring. And that's why I make the comment, Event Horizon would not have happened if not for Cecil Cerveza. You're the unsung hero of that show. And I don't think I've talked about that publicly, about how you really stepped up, and dude, if it wasn't for you, that show wouldn't have happened. And I'm forever in your debt. And I know what that IOU is, and we'll talk later. It's going to happen at some point.
I just want to see him run down the WrestleMania ramp like Seth Rollins.
Like, I'm cashing in that IOU.
Referee, keep up.
Yeah. But
at this point, my knees would break.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's a fire you've had to put out, Cecil?
I appreciate you saving the best story for last, honestly.
I had a feeling it would be you.
It just happened between the time I was in the hospital and my birthday. Brian always told me that I have too many chefs in the fire.
Nope.
He always told me that.
I've
That's not how that
I've never
goes.
said that one time. And
He said we have too many people.
We need to keep a running tally of when idioms that get messed up. Rabbit's nest, roast you to your eyes.
Roast you to your eyes.
Roast you to your eyes, and too many chefs in the fire. Okay.
Too many chefs in the kitchen. Too many chefs
in the kitchen.
Yep.
Yes, you're correct on that one.
He always told me that. So when I was in the hospital, I got wind that people were trying to run a wrestling event that have no reason to ever think they could be a promoter. They were trying to put this all together as a benefit to me. And I'm like, no, because I don't know, and this may be coming out a little mean, I don't know in what world somebody thinks that in professional wrestling, there's not one final voice. One. That, for example, Dickie, MadBash is your sandbox. You are the final say on anything. Brian, UWC Online, your sandbox. You and I used to have arguments left and right every freaking week because you wouldn't let me help you. And now, after learning from you for what feels like 2 decades, and I understand why you get on me as much as you do, because I've seen it all. I've been there. Mm-hmm. I've watched. And I had a group of people trying to overstep their boundaries and take my vision and my dream basically from underneath me. And then when I say no, I got bashed. Like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I love this one. I don't pay the boys. Oh, there is no wrestling promoter on this earth that does not struggle. I don't give a damn who you are. Every wrestling promoter struggles, whether it be financially, whether it be mentally, definitely mentally, being a wrestling promoter. Oh, the mental. There's not one wrestling promoter in the world that doesn't struggle at something, but that is how you learn. That is how you get better. You cannot get better if you don't make mistakes. And that week in the hospital, I had to put out the biggest fire that I ever did. And my personal business was even put out there for some stupid reason. And I broke a lot of bonds that I thought were legit, genuine bonds that at the end of the day, I feel better that I broke them because I got praise for actually even me being sick and everything that I'd gone through. I still stood my ground. I haven't closed my doors on my promotion. I'm still trying to be better than what I was yesterday. And me continuing to do better and still have my same mindset, my same goals that I did, that, in my opinion, is the biggest fire that I ever could put out. Because I don't talk to a lot of people like me, recovering, getting stuff done, stuff with AVW. I've been doing it since a little bit by myself. And it's a good feeling.
So really, you're saying that you needed to get people to fall in line. There's no disrespect to that at all. Every army has that sergeant. I mean, you got somebody above you. If you're working your shoot job, you have a manager. If you're the manager, you have a district manager, a regional manager. You have the CEO of the company. Like, you got some guy that's stealing everybody's Legos and then calling the cops on you. So do you know about this? I got a video.
The bricks and minifigs story. Yeah. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
No.
$200,000 worth of Star Wars Legos stolen.
If you want to fall down a rabbit's nest, we'll link you some of these videos. They are insane. Oh yeah, you would love it.
They're great. Following last week's episode, I did do that part 2, and it got nuts. Later. It got nuts. But anyway, you just got to get the people to fall in line and realize, hey, I'm the boss.
And but here's the thing about that. I tell somebody I'm the boss, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I have leverage. I could shut you down tomorrow. I love hearing that one.
Well, do it. Sue me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a reference to the whole Lego thing. That wasn't a
I don't really want you to sue me. I'd rather not.
No, we really don't. I would prefer not to have to go to court.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I think that is so funny because it ties into what we were just talking about of you can't be everyone's friend. And at a certain point, you got to understand that the buck has to stop somewhere. I have got a group of people that help me run MadBash Wrestling. I just do. But they also know at the end of the day, I get the final say. I'm also a very approachable promoter. People can come to me with their ideas. I'm getting blown up all the time by specifically Spencer Wallace with all these ideas. And I love that.
That's great.
I love that. And, but Spencer, do what now?
Zay Gates is mine. He's even talk at least twice a week about ideas. Like there's been arguments, and then he'll call me again and apologize, and we'll talk direction. It's a weird, funny dynamic.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that every promoter should have a person like that. And Spencer's not the only one. Don't get me wrong. There have been, very collaborative efforts from a lot of people. And I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. And they also understand that just because I don't use your idea, that doesn't mean that I'm fucking you off. And you're actually someone that I respect. And, I got a lot of people coming at me that want a spot. And it is what it is. Like you can't book everyone. If we could book everyone, then, our shows would be 12 hours long and there would be like 72 matches, and you just realistically cannot do that. But I will say those early AVW 210 shows definitely felt like that they were 12 hours long with 32 matches, and especially when you had to be on the call for them. And I've never talked to you about this publicly, but it was your 21 over the top Rumble from it was from a couple of years ago, and Dalton was still broken ankle, and we were on commentary, and we were so checked out about halfway through that show because it was so long that every few months or so, Dalton and I will go back and rewatch that Rumble, not because of the Rumble itself, but because of us losing our minds. It is the most off the rails commentary I've ever done.
You can still watch that on YouTube today. I'll probably watch that after the podcast because that is funny.
Oh, there was a part where Rico attacked Franchise Chris Hall's coming to the ring. First of all, Franchise's music hits and Dalton and I pop like it's fucking Hogan coming out. And we're so excited. And then Rico Pearl Harbors him from behind. And we're like, no, and we're just losing like that piece of shit, Rico Jones. Like it was a lot of fun, man. It's always a lot of fun to do commentary on your shows. Like I've talked about it publicly. Like I don't do commentary anymore. There's very few people I do commentary for, and Cecil's one of them. And I always have fun on there, especially the last show that you did. Carrot was on there with Reb and I, and Carrot and I another one where we just devolved. And poor Reb was trying to wrangle us back in, but Carrot and I just started making references to Kung Pao. And it was Carrot was like, because T.Y. Ice gets in the ring and he's got the chain and he attacks Cobra. And I just go, swing in the chain. And then Carrot immediately picks up on it that it's a Kung Pao reference. And he goes, what T.Y. Ice just did is badong. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. But no, you guys, I will say, are probably two of my favorite promoters that I've ever worked for. I have fun at AVW. I always had fun at UWC. And, Brian, you don't really work, but you've come to a couple MadBash shows, and, Cecil, you have not, right now. You have yet to be to a MadBash show. You better be there on the 29th.
Yeah.
But I hope that, I think that I just want to create a fun environment where, we all have a good time, I'll be honest, I kind of got lost in the sauce on that one. I kind of had to make up the ending as I went. But, well, that's going to do it for this edition of Spot Show. This was a great conversation. This was a lot of fun. Cecil, again, glad that you're on the mend. Glad that you're better. Not to make any promises here, but any idea when we might see you lace the boots back up again?
As of right now, I'm going to enter myself into the AVW 21 over the top Rumble.
Is this breaking news?
It's breaking news. September 20th.
An exclusive. Take that, Reb and Menders. I got an exclusive on my show.
September 20th, AVW presents 21 over the top. I'm still working on negotiations to go back home to the Exit 210 for that one since it is a Rumble show. And I'm entering myself in that Rumble.
Well, you heard it. Cecil Cerveza is coming back like a house of fire. He's got Cecil fire coming back. But yeah, man, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be exciting. Cecil, give your plugs. You already gave some dates, but give your plugs. Where can everyone find you? Where can people find AVW?
Me and my story, if you want to be entertained by my quirkiness, Facebook, William Bunkum or Cecil Cerveza, both of them. Any updates about All For Million Wrestling are posted very frequently. I have All For Million Wrestling on TikTok, All For Million Wrestling on Instagram. Hit us up anytime for ticket updates and especially date updates. Thank you guys both for this. This has been a lot of fun. And hope to see you down the road.
It ain't over. It ain't over because, listen, if everyone's on the Patreon, we're going to be rolling into paid shows. Cecil's going to stick around with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. V had something that he wanted to bring up with you specifically on paid show, and I don't remember what it was. Hopefully you remember what it was. Because
I also have breaking news for paid show.
Okay, well, we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah.
So you can, of course, find me on Instagram at DWobsEditBay. You can find me on Letterboxd at DWobs, of course, with a Z. MadBashStudios.com for all your MadBash Studios / wrestling information. You can find Jason V on a Craigslist listing somewhere looking for a brand new CRTV.
Yeah, platonic partners.
Yes. So for everyone that is on the Patreon, you're going to hear us. You're going to hear some breaking news, and you might hear Cecil get into a pretty interesting story. You never know. But for everybody else, we will see you down the road on some form of content.